7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes all
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And this video is going to be about Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson deserves to be a freaking all-star, in my opinion, this season. So Jalen Brunson, obviously, we went on to sign this offseason, and there was tons of criticism when it came to the signing of Jalen Brunson. We gave him too much money. He's not that good of a player. He was been a backup most of his career. What's the reason you're really signing him? And Jalen Brunson, when we signed him, I thought he was an upgrade at the point guard position. I thought he was a solid upgrade. I thought he was a good basketball player coming over. But he has surpassed my expectations. He's been way better than I thought, and we haven't been 82 games through the 2022-23 NBA season. So yes, you want to see more. You want to see this team go to the playoffs. But so far, Jalen Brunson's played at a whole other level. And obviously is a totally different role with the ball in his hands more compared to the Dallas Mavericks when Luka Doncic had the ball in his hands most of the time. But you did see the capability of him scoring the basketball in a bunch of different ways, especially in the first round of the playoffs when the Dallas Mavericks defeated the Utah Jazz and Luka Doncic was out in that series. And I want to say this about the All-Star game, the All-Star selection. I don't need Jalen Brunson to be named an all-star or for him to have this label in order for me to give him credit. Because I watch Knicks games. I watch every single Knicks game, which means I watch every game of Jalen Brunson's when he is healthy out there on the basketball floor. So that means I know what level he's playing at. I don't need a label to tell me that he is worthy of being a star. Because me watching him alone, seeing him help impact winning for the New York Knicks already has been enough. I don't need him to be labeled an all-star. To me, he's already an all-star. I said the same thing with RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett, do I think he's been playing like a star this season? You could say he was playing at a solid level before, obviously, that injury. But yeah, I thought he was playing some solid basketball. Do I think he's playing like a star? No. But tons of people had this conversation, will RJ Barrett be an all-star? And I've always said I never need the label. If he's playing like a star for us, that's all I care about. It's just such a talented league that it's hard to make all-star teams. If you help my team impact winning, that's enough. That's enough, and that's what Jalen Brunson's done. Jalen Brunson has the stats. He has the amazing play style. But the New York Knicks are also winning games. They're the 6th seed. Are we some championship contender? No. But Jalen Brunson definitely improves his basketball club. And, for example, we wouldn't be the 6th seed, in my opinion, if we didn't have Jalen Brunson. We would probably be in the play-in. We would be the 8th or 9th seed, and the season's not over. Because there's been so many situations this season that Jalen Brunson saves our butt. When we're down double digits or we're up double digits in a basketball game, the opposing team comes back because we can't box out. We're allowing 3-pointers outside on the perimeter when we're playing good defense the entire game. We just go on to collapse. We're not getting overall good effort, or not effort, I should say, consistent offensive contribution from the other guys. And when these other teams are coming back, when we're up double digits and then it's cut to like a 2.4 point game in that fourth quarter, Jalen Brunson may not have that game-winning buzzer beater to put it away, but he just does a great job of when one team gets a bucket, he scores on the other end. He does a good job trading baskets. He knows how to just consistently score the basketball because of these barrage of moves in his arsenal. He's one of the deepest bags in the NBA, or is one of the best bags in the NBA, and I think it's underrated because when there's a certain move shut off, he knows the next move to go to because he has hesitations in his game. If it's to get to that floater, get to that mid-range, just go strong all the way to the basket. He could even catch guys on his hip and get to that mid-range. He plays at such a smooth pace. He makes it look so easy out there on the floor, the way he operates the game. And when you take a look at him playing with Luka, everyone's like, maybe he didn't get to showcase his whole skill set because, Luka Doncic really dominates the ball. But obviously, Luka Doncic is one of the best players in basketball. But I think it's time to also give credit to Luka Doncic. Yes, Jalen Brunson has worked on his game. But when you play with Luka, who has these step backs, someone that plays at a really good pace, change of speed, he knows when to slow it down, change of speed and direction, that type of thing. Luka Doncic is really great at that, so we can give credit to Luka. Jalen Brunson's probably learned some things from a Luka Doncic, but Jalen Brunson, just having someone that has these up and unders, someone that has step back, someone that can even go to the post at 6'1", who plays stronger than his height or plays taller than his height. Like, this dude plays with pure heart out there on the floor, and when it looks like the Knicks are going to collapse, give the game away, Jalen Brunson steps up in a big time moment. Don't get me wrong, he's had his moments that he is choked, especially those 2 missed free throws versus Chicago. In that Grizzlies game, he was one of the main reasons we came back. But I believe there was a possession that he went for the mid-range jumper. Even though you could say it was a quality look, it didn't go in. But some people thought he should have passed to Reddish in that situation, or he forced a floater, or he missed kind of an easy floater against Portland. He has had his moments that he hasn't executed on the stretch. But those 2 missed free throws versus Chicago, they cost us the game, have really overshadowed what he has done down the stretch in basketball games. Yes, he's the point guard. He's the one that's supposed to be distributing the ball. Some people think of the point guard position, you have to be a pass-first point guard, but the game has changed a lot. He can pass the ball, but there's moments that other players are just so stagnant offensively, they don't have it going in the fourth quarter, that he realizes, I need to take over this game. And that's what I love about Jalen Brunson. But he's had games that he has stepped up in the big moment. The Charlotte game, huge huge right wing 3-ball. He had a huge bucket when it came to overtime in that basketball game. Even in losses in the Grizzlies game, when he would just have so many huge baskets in the fourth quarter. The Milwaukee Bucks game that he dropped 44 points the other night, he was not the reason we lost that game at all. He put that team on his freaking back when he scored 18 of our 22 points in the first quarter, when Randall couldn't get anything going at all in that first quarter scoring the ball, and when Randall eventually got some things going, he kind of shrunk in the fourth quarter, and Brunson continued to get buckets. It wasn't his fault that we couldn't box out. It wasn't his fault that our perimeter defense just absolutely was awful, that Evan Fournier overhelped when it came to Julius Randle, was defending Giannis well the entire game. He sent help, and then Grayson Allen was wide open for 3. He had 44 points in that game. He continued to hit huge buckets. The Philadelphia 76ers game, it looked like we were going to collapse. Huge drive to the basket, huge and one. Chicago, we're playing Chicago at Chicago in overtime. Huge crossover, step back, breaks Caruso's ankles, knocks it down from the outside. He's hit big shots versus San Antonio. He has hit some big shots this season that we definitely need to give him credit for, in wins and in losses, because we didn't have a point guard last season or even prior seasons that it's just like, yeah, we're playing good basketball, but then the Knicks collapse. How are the Knicks going to overcome this adversity? We don't have a guy that when one move gets shut off, that they're able to go to a next move and really attack the defense and hit a big-time shot. And I still don't think we have that in our starting lineup consistently, at least a step up in the fourth quarter. RJ Barrett has shown that he can have big moments in the fourth quarter. He doesn't have a go-to. Well, he does. He's starting to build that step back and also get into the teeth of the defense, stop on a dime, and shoot that fadeaway, but it's still not consistent yet. And Randall, he could be good for 3 quarters. And don't get me wrong, he's had some solid fourth quarters, but on a consistent basis, can you count on Randall offensively in that fourth quarter? I can trust Brunson the most in the starting lineup to go out there and get a bucket, hit a difficult shot in a big-time moment. So Brunson's definitely been big-time when it comes to those big-time moments. And so he's putting up numbers. He has very, very nice moves in his game that he can go to the next move if a move gets shut off. He's hit some big shots, but also on top of it, again, going back to him choking in some moments, you're going to have to go through hell in order to really succeed down the stretch. If you want to be that guy, you're going to have to go through some hell. You're going to have to overcome some adversity. And that's what he's done. Like the last game last night, we're up 25 points. Absolute disaster, the way we fold in that at the end of that third. And then in that fourth quarter, Brunson hit some huge buckets for us. In the past, it's just like, we probably would have went from being up 25 to losing that game by 10 because we haven't had someone that can go out there and get buckets like that. He's just a mentally tough player that likes to get into the teeth of the defense. He's 6'1", but plays so much stronger than that. He is a strong dude, but he's been worth every penny, man. Like, he's been worth every freaking, everything we've paid him so far this season. And from going to missing those free throws, he's been knocking down the free throws very, very well lately as well. He's been better than advertised defensively. I'm not going to say he's necessarily a good defender. He's probably a solid defender at best. He really gets into you. He plays very hard defensively. He's been better when it's come to reading those passing lanes as well and coming up with some steals, picking them off, doing a good job recognizing when someone's telegraphing passes. But when it comes to just wingspan, when it comes to height, he's just going to get beat sometimes when it comes to one-on-one situations. But when it comes to help or when it comes to reading the passing lanes, I actually think he's very underrated in that department. And the pace he plays at, everyone's going to look at just like the moves, but pace is a huge thing at the point guard position. And he's recognized when this team's on, he's looking to push it. And there's moments also, though, sometimes he does slow it down and he looks to go one-on-one a lot, but he does execute a lot in those situations as well. But yeah, sometimes when he gets a screen, maybe you'd like to see him utilize those screens more to pass the basketball than just go to that mid-range shot. But he's been a very solid passer of the basketball. He's known when to give up the ball. He's averaging 6 assists this season. And just having someone that can score the ball at such a high level really helps Randle take some ball handling duties off of him, take some pressure off of Julius Randle to get some easier buckets in the interior. You've seen Randle thrive in the interior. He still takes a lot of threes. He's taken like 7 threes per game this season. But him getting into the teeth of the defense opens up easier shots for Grimes, someone that likes to execute or someone that can execute from beyond the arc as well. And he does a good job manipulating the defense with his eyes sometimes. Sometimes it looks like he's going to go one way with the pass, but he actually ends up swinging it to the left wing, even though he's looking at the right wing. He's not some pass first, like crazy generational passer or anything like that, but he definitely is a very solid passer of the basketball, and you can trust him with the ball. He is up to like 2.2 turnovers per game. He's been turning the ball over lately, but he's someone that you can count on to be smart with the ball. He's been turning the ball over lately, but I don't think that will continue. He has a history of just being very smart with the basketball. So I've really liked the way he's been manipulating defenses, the ways like those hesitations. He's just so much fun to watch, and I think that's a huge thing as well if you want to get All-Star votes, even though I think the All-Star voting system's freaking broken from the voting we have seen. Again, I don't need to see him in an All-Star game for me to really give him credit. He's playing like a star to me at the end of the day. He's one of the main reasons we're the 6th seed. Obviously, Randle playing at a high level is a huge thing. Quickly when he got inserted to the starting lineup, I thought he was playing really hard. He's scoring at a high level. There's obviously other contributing factors like Grimes as well in the starting lineup. There's tons of different things Mitchell Robinson elevating his play when it comes to him averaging 9 rebounds per game. That's a career high for him. You want to see him get to 10 rebounds. Him defending the interior, being that lob threat. But Jalen Brunson is one of the main reasons. He's the one orchestrating the offense. He's the one hitting big-time shots for us. He's been playing at an unbelievable level. And if you take a look at Jalen Brunson's stats as of right now, he's averaging 21.9 points per game. He's averaging 3.5 rebounds per game, 6.4 assists. And one of the most impressive things is that he's one of the top options scoring the basketball, but he's extremely efficient as he's shooting 47% from the field on 16.7 attempts. And he's shooting 85% from the free throw line, attempting 5 free throws per game. He knows how to get into the paint. He's averaging 3.5 rebounds, like I mentioned, 0.9 steals, nearly 1 steal per game. He's shooting 39% from 3 on 4 attempts. He's definitely shot the ball at a very high level when it's come to like these last 15 games. At the beginning of the season, he was shooting like 32% from 3. But he has good mechanics. He's a reputation guy or repetition guy. He's going to continue to put in work if he's missing shots in games. He's going to make sure he gets in the lab and continues to take shots. And that's one of the things that I kind of overlooked when it came to Jalen Brunson. Yeah, he was a solid, a good player coming over from Dallas. But how much is he going to elevate his game? But players can get better no matter what the age is. You can get better from just a skill set standpoint. For some players, basketball IQ as well. And Brunson's just taking his game to a whole other level. And maybe he always had this in him, but due to the personnel he played with, it was probably maybe a totally different story and didn't get to showcase what he can do. But with a 6th seed, his play style is fun. He's putting up the numbers. He's a physical, tough dude. He has the games that he has played. Yes, he had an ankle injury. Yes, he had a hip injury, but he wasn't missing a crazy amount of games. But Jalen Brunson's been a beast. He represents New York. He plays hard. He's sweating his ass off. He's breathing hard at the end of every game. That shows that he really gives a shit. Him being frustrated in games. When he was missing those free throws, a stretch of missing those free throws, he was pissed off because he knows he wants to be good. He wants to be one of the main reasons where he just wants his team to be successful. He wants everyone to be involved. He just wants to be that beast here. And most importantly, he wants to win. And then you take a look at Jalen Brunson. His stats the last 10 games have been ridiculous, as he's averaging 25.9 points, 6.8 assists, 4.1 rebounds in his last 10 games, and the efficiency is still good. He's still an efficient ball player, and he's averaging 37 minutes on this stretch, by the way. He's attempting 20 field goals per game, but he's shooting 48% from the field, 46.9% from 3 on 4.9 attempts. And by the way, when it comes to just overall this season, he is averaging 33.4 minutes per game, but he's been a warrior. He's been a beast. He's been better than advertised, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson is that guy. And I'm not saying he's like number one option, like he's going to lead us to a championship or anything like that. I really still believe we do need a megastar, but we have that point guard. We have that guy. I really do believe that. This dude's pure heart. He has talent. He's everything you want out of a point guard, or almost everything. He's a leader, all of it. Let me know down below your thoughts on Jalen Brunson. Do you think he deserves to be an all-star? Is he playing like an all-star? Peace out, y'all.